Bonjour, mes amis.
What does that mean?
Hello, my friends.
Oh, thank you for the French lesson.
In French. Da 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 da. It's me. Sorry, I have an itchy leg. Okay. We just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about complicating your meal plans and getting caught up in other people's diets or other like bodybuilding diets or like the trendy meal plan or whatever. This week, I do tend to sometimes go and struggle with this. Is the majority of the months we use a basic meal plan with your bodybuilding basics, which is eggs, egg whites, natural peanut butter, cottage cheese,
sweet
Greek yogurt,
potato, brown rice, chicken, beef,
and steamed veggies like broccoli, cauliflower, and occasionally we use low carb wraps and like light low sugar ketchup, mustard, that kind of stuff. But every once in a while I get caught up, just like I'm sure you guys can relate to this, just like the majority of people wanting to lose weight. I get frustrated that I'm not seeing results fast enough. I see a diet that's worked for somebody and I say, hey, that's a great idea. I'm gonna do this, and tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna be a size 4, I'm gonna be completely ripped, and I'm gonna look like I'm a competitive female bodybuilder. Well, that is a very far-fetched dream, and I do still get caught up in that. I've lost over 120 pounds and I still do get caught in those dieting traps. And you know, it won't go away. You just have to learn. And I've been learning that when I start complicating my meal plans, it sets me back. It doesn't bring me ahead. I've had to learn that lesson quite a few times, and I learn it for a while, and then I go, oh, look at that new meal plan. Let's try that. Instead of just being patient and sticking with it, because patience when you're trying to lose weight and keep it off is a virtue. Sometimes I lose my patience and I get frustrated, and that's normal and that's okay. And I accept that and I understand that about myself. And I realize that I do tend to fall off the track sometimes, but I always get back on it. So this week and the week before, I decided to add some more variety into our meal plan, and I added like bananas and stuff that we don't tend to eat because our bodies hold on to it and don't agree with the excess sugars even if they're natural. But I always think, well, lots of bodybuilders eat bananas, I can eat them too. No, my body doesn't like bananas unless it's treat day, where it can process it on one day and be fine with it.
Yeah, once in a while it might be okay, but for us, not every day.
But I still get caught up and I decide to try it, and then I either stay on the scale or I go up a pound. And last week I went up a pound, but instead of freaking out like I normally would have, I just said, okay, you went a little nutty with your meal plan, you went off the track, and that's okay. That's gonna happen. You're gonna go up and down in weight, you're gonna go up a couple, down a couple, and then even out at some point and stay there for a while. That is part of the journey. Kyle and I have experienced all of those 3 things many, many times along this journey, and we will continue to experience it probably for the rest of our lives, and we're okay with that. We accept that now.
And we know, like, we feel it. You get a lot of mixed messages when it comes to what to eat. From the internet, from gurus at the gym, from friends, from parents, family, whatever. But when we get off track, we sometimes remember that the basics are the basics because they work. Like the food staples have been around for decades because they're nutritious and they fuel the goal that we want to accomplish, which is to get lean and put on muscle.
Exactly. And the thing is that everybody is speaking, most people are giving you diets from their point of view, what's worked for their bodies. And it can work for other people's bodies too. Just like when we tell you guys what we eat, it might not necessarily work for your body, but it works for our body. Treat days might not work for everybody, but it works for us. You know, certain things work for certain people and don't for others. And that's okay too. But we've learned, even though sometimes I fall off the wagon, we've learned that you getting a fit body is about listening to your own body and listening to what it needs, and watching the scale and looking in the mirror and seeing what's producing your results and what isn't.
And while variety is nice in food, it's not always what's best for you.
No, and what the conclusion that we always come to for us is that you stick to the basics during the week. Sure, you can change up your eggs. Like, we change the different veggies that we throw into our eggs, or we use light cream cheese instead of low sugar ketchup one day to put on our eggs. Or you can change up that kind of stuff, or change up your protein. Use lean beef instead of tuna, or use ground chicken instead of ground turkey or something to change it up and make it a little more special. Change up your veggies, or change up your healthy fats, like put some coconut oil in your veggies instead of olive oil, or whatever it is that you do. That's still sticking to the basics. But what we learned, the conclusion we always come to, is that you stick to the basics during the week, and on the treat day is where you can get fancy. You know, you eat what you like on treat day, and during the week, it's the basics. That's what we've learned has worked. Now, portion sizes will be different for everybody depending on what your goal is, where you are in terms of weight and height and size and everything else. But for us, we know what works for our bodies. It's just normal and human to sometimes get off track. And that's okay. Don't beat yourself up if you do it. Just get right back onto the basics. And that's what we did. We were eating extra bananas and an extra couple of carbs the last few days. As soon as we realized that we had gotten off our normal meal plan, we went back to basics today. And that's okay. Like I said, you're going to experience this, it's weight loss roller coaster, let's call it. You're going to go through everything. You're going to say, hey, well, that meal plan works for someone else, I'm going to try it. But in the end, you have to look at yourself. What does your body feel like when you eat certain things? Are you tired? Are you losing weight? Do you have energy? Are you really hungry? Listen to your body. Your body will tell you what you need. And it's so easy to say, body, you're dumb, I'm not listening to you, which I like to do quite often, and then try something else, and then you see it doesn't work. Your body, it has a built-in, let's say, sensor that will tell you what you need, when you need it, and how much, if you're listening to it. So get your hearing aids on, people, and listen to your body. And this is a reminder for me just as much as it is a tip for you guys, is your body is your guide, and it will go to its natural set point weight when you are ready for it and when you are ready to listen to it. So reminders, get back to the basics. Don't worry so much about your meal plans, and if you get bored, like I said, switch up some of the basics. Have sweet potatoes instead of brown rice, or have a low-carb tortilla instead of brown rice and sweet potatoes. Or
spice up your sweet potatoes. Some cayenne pepper, some Frank's Red Hot on your chicken, whatever. Something like no sugar, low sugar, anything like that.
Yeah, you can use, just like if you get tired of, we were eating protein oatmeal, and to make it taste really good, we're throwing in sugar-free flavorings, and you can also put different syrups. I know some people put Walden Farms syrup on their egg whites to change it up, to make it sweet instead of savory.
I might do that tomorrow.
Yeah, see, there you go. And they add cinnamon to it. So just be creative with the basics. You know, there are tons of options out there. Stick to your basics, listen to your body, and you will get the results you want. It might take a really long time, but that's what patience is for. And when you're on this roller coaster, let's call it our weight loss roller coaster, you will need patience. You will lose it sometimes. Sometimes you're gonna fall off your roller coaster, so wear a helmet. But you will always get back on if you know your goal and you know yourself and you really want it. You will do it, and know that we are on the same roller coaster with you. We are riding that same one that doesn't always have good safety belts. I'm on like a metaphor kick right now.
Yeah, you're giving her.
So I hope that you guys got some tips from it, because, sorry, I don't know what was wrong with me there. Because I know when we hit the plateaus, it would have been nice for me to be able to look somewhere and see somebody else struggling. So just know I struggle too every day with making sure that I'm not overwhelming myself or getting too obsessed with the numbers on the scale or too obsessed with the meal plans. It's a normal thing.
Yeah, the journey doesn't end just because we've lost a chunk of weight. It's actually just beginning now. You start to figure out, and you come across more things that you still need to work on.
And nothing here physically will change until you change it up here. The way that you think has a lot to do with it. Meal plans, yes. Diet does have a lot to do with it, but your thinking also has a lot to do with it.
Maybe we'll get into that in another video.
Yeah, maybe another time. So guys, just hang in there and know that we are on this weight loss roller coaster with you. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.